Hello, mateys. So you might have noticed that I changed my background, courtesy of Daniel. I am now back at my house, so I'll be filming from here most of the time now. Today we're going to be talking about depression still, but we're going to be talking about the warning signs, who's at risk, and then what to do, both as somebody that has depression and somebody that is dealing with somebody that has depression. So let's talk about some of the warning signs of depression then. So you have lack of focus, you have disinterest in activities that you normally enjoy. There's losses or gains of weight, there's eating too little or eating too much, trouble concentrating, trouble sleeping, now this may be sleeping too much or too little depending on who you are, feelings of hopelessness, feelings of, heaviness in your arms and legs, that's more of the physical symptoms there, and then there's also a strong reaction to criticism. And these are warning signs, but not everyone expresses them, and sometimes even if people are expressing them, you don't always notice unless you're particularly monitoring a person for these changes. So who's at risk then of experiencing depression? Well, teens are at the top of our list, and other young adults. So this is your middle schoolers, your high schoolers, your college kids, and females are twice as likely statistically as men to develop depression, but men are also less likely to admit or acknowledge that they are experiencing depression. And some types of depression run in families. People who are going through economic stress, trauma, loss, and divorce are more likely to develop depression. And then elders and people who have lost spouses are likely to develop depression. And major depression is most common in adults aged 45 to 65. So in summary then, it's very likely that most people will experience some type of depression at some point in their life. So what to do? Well, first of all, do not ever tell somebody to simply get over it. Even if their depression is brought on by circumstances, telling them to just get over it is not going to be beneficial for anybody. In fact, it can cause people to conceal their depression and not search for help. I believe that sin can lead to depression, but that depression itself is not a sin and is not always caused by sin. I would also like to point out that if you are dealing with depression, not everybody is going to react the same. So if somebody reacts poorly to you talking to them, please know that that is not how everybody feels, and that is not how everybody is going to react to you. So here's an example. Secular society says it's all about me. What's going to make me happy? What am I going to get out of this? And so that leads to you trying to please yourself. And even if you are a Christian, old habits die hard because we do still have that same sinful nature in us. So this unfulfillment that we feel then often leads to things like drugs, premarital sex, violence, and just an overall tendency to overindulge ourselves. The cure then is to continually put your focus back on Jesus and back on others. So one of my favorite quotes of all time is from my 9th grade lit teacher, and he told us one day, the best thing you can do for yourself is to do something for someone else. And the idea then is that no matter how bad you feel or no matter how bad things seem for you at the moment, if you can humble yourself to do something for someone else, then there is a positive impact that you can have. And, on the most basic human level, it provides you with a sense of purpose. I think a lot of times we get lost, looking for our place in the world and looking for our purpose. But if you go out of your way to do something for someone else, then you've got it, It goes to show that you can still have a positive impact. And you can turn your attention back to Jesus. Jesus is our hope in the darkness. He walks with us through the good and through the bad. And if you put your focus on Jesus, then it turns your attention from yourself and how is this going to affect me, to how fearfully and wonderfully made you are, to how loved you are, how even on your worst day, Jesus came to die for you on the cross. And we're still going to have battles here on earth. But bottom line, the war's already won. And that's where your hope should come from. You know, heaven is the end game. Serving God is your passion. Bringing other people to the Father is your mission. And that's why the church is so important. We are the hands and feet of Jesus here on earth. And it's our job to go out and find the lost and hurting, and to be with our brothers and sisters through the hard times. This is what's going to keep the secular me society at bay, is putting our attention back to Jesus and looking for the positive impact that we can have on others. So that was kind of a lot to take in. So here's a few highlights. Anyone can experience depression. Most people will experience depression at some point in their lives. Watch the way that you react to people dealing with depression. If you are dealing with depression, know that not everyone's going to react the same way. And don't dwell on the negatives in your life. You know, don't zero in on all the bad things happen, but continually put your focus back on Jesus and back on the positive impact that you can have on others. So find a way this week, find a way this month, find a way today to do something for somebody else and to put yourself, you know, on that path. The best thing you can do for yourself is to do something for someone else. And that's it.
When you go through the deep waters, I will be with you. When you go